So, good evening, everyone. I welcome you and topic is empowering teachers in democracy. To discuss over the topic, we have three eminent speakers: Dr. Prachi Periwala, Associate Professor, Presidency University, Bangalore, India; Dr. Emmanuel, Founder and Director, Access to Justice and Equal Protection from Malawi; and Pratiksha Wagh, Assistant Professor, G.H. Raisoni College of Engineering, Pune. What is really needed to make democracy function is not knowledge of facts, but right education. Schools and the teachers play a great role in inculcating democratic values in the students. When the children go to schools, they get along with children from different families, from different communities. They work in groups for assignments and projects. And these activities help them in developing social skills and life skills. They learn to respect humans irrespective of their caste, color, race, or religion. And the implementation of these activities we taught and empower teachers. A teacher should be aware of his or her role and
I think
the
it's
teachers. I'm audible now. The teacher should be aware of his or her role in promoting values like justice, equality, fraternity, dignity, and liberty to make this education more meaningful. And to continue with the discussion, I invite our first speaker, Dr. Prachi Periwala, ma'am. Ma'am, please take over the session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you, Idym, for giving me an opportunity again. Good evening and namaskara from Bangalore to everyone around the world who is watching our show right now. I welcome my co-panel speakers for the day. Thank you, Anju, ma'am. I would like to start my session, like because the topic is very interesting, empowering women, empowering teachers, and democracy. So I would like to wish all my young teacher, fellow teachers all around the world that I really hope as a teacher of tomorrow, we all make a difference to somebody's life. We have been doing it, and I wish we continue touching a lot of lives around. Now, when we talk about empowerment, what is empowerment? Empowerment can happen when there is some knowledge, right? If there is no knowledge, sorry, okay. If there is no knowledge, empowerment cannot happen. So when we talk about empowerment, empowerment must occur through knowledge. It should not happen through new controls. Like what is happening if we see from a longer duration, like from a longer time, it could be due to FDI in education. It could be due to lot of support for private universities and autonomous institutions. It could be because of very huge competition in education sector, or it could be because in the name of various accreditations, in the name of various different standards, different benchmarks for the new ranks. Instead of I'm so sorry, Manjit ma'am, can you please mute your audio? Manjit ma'am, if you could please mute your audio. Thank you so much. Yeah, sorry. So if I talk about the teachers empowerment from a long time, instead of it has to be on the basis of knowledge, but from a long time it has become on the basis of certain control system. The teachers are controlled. I'm so sorry, I belong to the same community, but there are certain new control system in the name of accreditation, in the name of ranking, in the name of like competition, in the name of this, that, and all, which actually, instead of empowering the women, empowering the person as a teacher, is empowering them as a employee, right? We teachers do a very pious job. We do a job which is which is considered to be very religious. So I think it is very important that we continue looking at the teachers as teachers instead of making them as an admin staff, or making them as a accountant, or making them as a marketing person. I think like there are a lot of people who can do this good job. So instead of empowering your, and if you say your teachers are getting empowered through that, I'm so sorry to say that, but teacher is losing the essence of teaching, right? So like at the cost of all this, sometimes we are losing the touch, right? Now talking about, if as a teacher, see, I have been into private jobs from the right from the beginning of my career, right? And any private organization works in the similar pattern, whether my current organization, my previous organization, prior to that, this is my fifth organization, by the way, like in 19 years. So every organization, if it is private in nature, works on the similar line. So if as a teacher I want to remain empowered, I need to integrate certain value system within me. So whatever happens around does not touch me. So if I talk about regularity, so regular, when see again, I don't have to teach, or I don't have to talk about what is regularity, but this regularity should be in terms of my own check on what have I done in the past 1 year to grow myself professionally, right? So definitely this regularity is not about coming regular to the organization, logging into the right time, or punching into the right time, or going to the right time to the class. No, I'm talking about regularity in the terms of growth. So this regularity can be done when we are pursuing various certification program. This regularity can be done when we are pursuing some professional courses. This regularity can be done when we are doing some kind of research, but we have to be regular, because let me to remind you, my dear friends, a stagnant water stinks.
The
So it
body
is
is
very, very
still
important.
and it
I'm
is
so
not
sorry.
serious.
Amir Ahmed, sir, can you please mute your audio? Amir Ahmed, sir?
Please, let's hear now. Please, the second mic is all yours. I'm freezing. I'm freezing up. The network, the weather has changed. I'm so sorry about that.
Okay. So now the second value which I think as a teacher we must have about timekeeping, right? See, if we don't follow discipline, it is going to be very important, because we are the role models. We are the one to whom our students look upon too. Like it is not only student, even the parents look upon to, because parents have given their tender kids in our hands, right? So it is very important to inculcate certain discipline activities amongst these kids or students, right? So second important value which a teacher must have should be timekeeping, right? Timekeeping could be in the sense of going right time, could be in the sense of submission of assignment, could be in the sense of submission or completion of syllabus, everything. It has to be time bound, right? Third thing which is very important is humanity. See, when we adapt humanity in our own personal lives, it reflects the humanity or the empathy, I would say. I think the most important skill a person could have as a when we adopt humanity is empathy, right? So this empathy could be towards your higher ups, this empathy could be towards your own colleagues, this empathy could be towards the supporting staff working in our organization, and very much required empathy has to be towards our own children. I'm so sorry, towards our own students. I'm so accustomed to calling them children or kids. Like though I deal with a very mature crowd, but still, out of habit, it is always kids or children. So it is very important to have some kind of empathy. See, if I'll give you for an example, right? The student is late to the class. I'm not denying to the fact that this, I don't know whether the student is lying. The student said there was an accident and I was trying to help on the road, right? So, instead of, shouting at the student that, no, I know you are telling lies, we have not gone and seen it. So I think some point of time we need to give some chance, right? Because the person will have, see how many times a student will tell lie, one, two, three, four, five, some n number of times, but definitely slowly and gradually he or she will have some shame and some pain in giving you distrust, because you're trusting him or her, right? So I think humanity is again very, very important element which every teacher has, and we must continue to have curiosity, right? Can't deny to the fact that we are dealing into a very smart generation, right? So when I say smart, they're born with a smartphone, they use gadgets like we were not able to use. They can, manage, they're multitasking, they can do two, three, four, five things at the same time, right? And it's a very curious generation. Like, they keep asking the questions. They want to know the reason behind everything. If you tell sun rises in the east and sun sets in the west, they will not understand the concept, right? They will have some questions behind that. I understand we have a, time limit to finish our portion, but I think somehow we should create our lesson plans in that way that we are able to, satisfy their curiosity. Now we will be able to satisfy their curiosity when we are curious as a teacher. We are curious to learn something new. We are curious to adopt new technology. We are curious to adopt the changing generation every year, right? So I think this curiosity is very important and we must keep it up. Now, the next value what I talk about for a teacher is friendship. I'm not telling be a friend to the student and, go outside, hang around with them and all. I'm really not talking about that. But somewhere we need to come down to their level. We need to, have a friendly approach. We should be adaptable. It should be like, I'm not telling friendly money like, oh yeah, what you are no, not that way. But at least, they shouldn't be fearful of you. They should be like, okay, she's approachable or he's approachable and I can talk to them. They are the one who will listen to me. So when we talk about friendship, I think the first rule of friendship says secrecy. We have to maintain their secrecy. Sometimes these students might come up to us in the counseling sessions or in the mentoring session, and they might tell us a lot of things about them, right? They might sometimes, if the parental problem, the house problem is troubling them, they might tell us about that. If there is some problem with their friend circle is happening, they might tell us about that. If they are having some kind of physical pain, they might tell us about that. So listen to them as a friend. Please don't discuss it in the staff room or don't go and discuss it with somebody else, because they have come to trust you. They have come to tackle you as a friend. So sometimes you can tap their back and you can say, it's okay, it will be fine. Instead of always being in the teacher role or always being the parental role, sometimes we can be in a friend role and we can like, it's okay, things are going to be fine, right? And we have to take the responsibility. So other value which I talk about for the teacher empowerment is responsibility. See, I'm not denying to the fact as a teacher we're responsible for a lot of things, but don't do it for the sake of doing it. That is a mistake we do as a teacher. If we want to be as an empowered teacher, if we want to be remembered as a role model for all the young teachers or for all the students who want to take up a teaching career in the future, we have to show them I am doing it because I love to do it. I'm not doing it because I have to do it. No. I think we have to take the responsibility of whatever has been given to us. Again, I'm not denying to the fact we all are overburdened with work, right? But I think we have to prioritize our work. We have to see the deadlines and we have to take the responsibility, at least for the children who have been given to us as a counselor or as a mentee, clear about everything. If we do not have clarity, see, where does a clarity come? Clarity comes with the communication. If I have doubt about something, I don't think so I should feel ashamed or I should feel, oh, if I ask something they might think, oh, I don't even know that much. Nothing like that. If they think, that is their thinking, not your thinking, right? You have to be clear about something. Say if you join a new organization, for a matter of fact, you are not given induction about each and everything. Take it from me. There are certain phrases or certain aspect of your career or your job responsibility which might not be covered up in your induction, right? Now in that case, see, there is something which has come up and you don't know anything about it, so there is no harm in asking your colleagues. There's no harm in approaching your higher ups and be clear on that part. Because if you're not clear, that you will not be able to perform properly, and half of your energy will be wasted in thinking about, oh, how I'm supposed to do it, am I doing it right or am I doing it wrong? So be clear, because it saves a lot of time and energy, right? Then patriotism. So when I talk about patriotism, I'm not telling that as a teacher you need to keep singing national anthem in the class, or you need to keep sing, no. But sometimes what we do, we kind of put our own country down and we start comparing it with other country. Oh, that country, and this is the reason why my country is not progressing. Don't do that, because The child is a learner in the class. So what he's learning from you or she's learning from you is that our country is not worth living, and the, whatever abroad, whatever country you're talking about is really great. Let us not do that. Let us be very kind, very very kind. How much of kindness we can have. Like, let us not be all the time, like, a kind of, Sherlock Holmes. Let us not behave like a Sherlock Holmes all the time. Let us be kind. Let us, accept it's okay, there might be something wrong. Because trust me, it is like a kindness is an infection, right? If you are kind to somebody, definitely that person will learn it from you and will be kind to somebody else, and that kindness will definitely revolve around and come back to us. So it is very very important to be kind and to trust the truth of the child. Otherwise it is not going to work out, right? So now, this is from our side. How do I make myself as an empowered teacher? Now, if I talk about, see, I am not the one who is working alone in the organization, right? I have my higher ups, I have my employer who have employed me in the organization. Now, if I talk about, like, if any one of you belong to the other side, I belong to this side, I'm an employee. If any one of you belong to other side, if you're an employer, if you are like a higher, if you're a higher up, you're principal, right? So, there are certain things you need to follow to empower your teachers, right? Hear them out. See, I'm not telling that, you don't allow your teachers to speak, but hear them out. So when I say hear them out, I'm talking about that, when your teachers are talking, make them feel confident. Okay, make them so confident in life as an employer, as a higher up, or as a boss, that they feel confident about that. Yes, I know my voice is heard. So they feel confident about coming and communicating. It is very important because, see, teachers, work life balance, the kind of job a teacher does, the kind of pressure, a tremendous amount of pressure the teacher may have when there are, n number of students sitting in the class making noise. All the student learning levels is different. So they are already under a lot of pressure. So at least allow your teachers to be heard. Allow your teachers to have a voice. Allow and give the confidence to your teacher that this, yes, you can talk because I'm here to hear you out. It's very important. Now, the other thing what as an employer or as a boss of a teacher you can do is help them to develop. Now, how do you help them to develop? See, there are simple ways. Either and ask them to enroll for a professional development program, ask them to enroll for some kind of certification program. Or the simplest way to help in developing is take a feedback from the students and share the feedback of the students with the teacher. Because sometimes it also helps them to build their academic capabilities. Like they are able to, develop themselves more academically, right? And when you are talking about the teacher's feedback, like, it is from the side of the student. Now, teacher is giving a feedback to you. The feedback could be about the infrastructure. The feedback could be about the rules and regulations. The feedback could be about the timings. The feedback could be about curriculum, anything, right? So listen to them, right, and help them in developing it. So when I say help them in developing it, ask them to make the rules, like ask them to change whatever they want to change, the regulations or the rules or the curriculum,
Grammar
and
is like
sit
a
on it, work
skeleton
together.
or frame of your sentence. So by grammar, you know how to put your words. How do you arrange them? Because in English, they familiar with tenses. Tenses talk about time. When you're going to talk about the present time, when you're going to use the past time, when are you going to choose something that is in the past, progress still to the
Emmanuel, sir,
future?
please mute
When
yourself.
you use future time, if you said don't need grammar,
Yeah. Ma'am, please carry on.
It's okay. Happens. Technicality has their own demerits. Okay. Now, so I was talking about the development of the teacher from the eye of the student and from your own side, right? Then celebrate teacherhood with them, right? See, all the bosses sitting over there were once upon a teacher. They started their lives as a teacher, isn't it? Like when I talk about principals, I talk about deans, I talk about HODs, I talk about vice chancellor, I talk about directors. Everyone would have started as a teacher, right? Now, what is the problem? See, I understand understand. Like, as a teacher, when I started, the biggest problem, what I till date I face, we teachers don't get recognition, right? Nobody celebrates teacher as a teacher. Though we have our Teachers' Day, our National Teachers' Day, our designated International Teachers' Day, but the teacherhood is not celebrated, right? So when I say teacherhood is not celebrated, there's no recognition for the work. So I think it is very important for us, like, to empower our teachers by making sure that, we celebrate their success. Success could be handling the most difficult child in the class. Success could be, helping the student who is academically poor to pass, celebrating the teacher because they have given 100% result, celebrating the teacher because they have written a book, celebrating a teacher because they have done a very good article, celebrating a teacher because they have done something different. And I don't think so a simple mail or a simple letter or in a meeting a simple word of appreciation is going to cost us more, right? So I think these are the small thing, and this is based on my personal experiences. It is very, very important to make teacher feel enough that yes, you are recognized for your work, right? Teacher has a lot of workload. I'm really not denying to the fact the teaching workload, the admin workload, the examination workload, the mentoring workload, then research workload, then like I can actually give a list, right? So sometimes when there is so much of workload involved, like in a teacher, like there's so much of work, then when then you can't expect them to be very innovative because it limits their innovation. So make sure, as a boss, when you are evaluating your teacher's workload on a regular basis, give them at least some lesson workload wherever you can, right? I understand, like the system is that way that the teacher has to be given this many work hours, but then don't expect your teacher to be creative, because to be creative, to be innovative, they need some freedom of time, and that freedom of time requires freedom of mind. So our work is not limited to go teach in the class and come back. Going teaching in the class is the least job we do as a teacher. There are so many things we do other than that, right? And as a boss, what you can do is you can be, you can make sure that, lastly, what you can do is being vulnerable. It is a key to creating open and honest dialogue, which is imperative for innovation. Take some risk and encourage your teaching staff that it's okay if we fail once in a while. Not necessarily that success has to be a part of us all the time. And make sure that sometimes even failure is a part of it. Still celebrate that last time you do well, this time okay, little maybe down, but I'm pretty sure you'll do it next time. Come on, aren't we motivating our students all the time? Aren't we celebrating the studenthood with the students all the time? Aren't we telling them it's okay, I know you can do better, I know you always do the best, right? So if little bit we do with the teacher, what is the harm? And I think it ignites some kind of innovation among the teacher also. There's no harm, right? So like if I would sum it up, the way we teachers empower ourselves, each other, and the way our higher ups empowers us by enrolling ourselves in some professional development, by giving us some purchasing power. So when I say purchasing power, I'm not talking about the supply wala power. I'm talking about something where we are asking them to take decision, something we are giving them authority, responsibility with the authority. Then telling them I'm always wish to share your happiness as well as your struggles. So teach when the teacher teaches the student in the class, the share is caring, right? So I think the higher also are supposed to tell the teacher that sharing is caring. Your flaws are my flaws, your strength is my strength, your success, your failure, I'm going to share it, right? And we are going to work it together for whatever reason, for to move forward in life, right? And somewhere definitely we have to lighten the load if we want our teachers to be very innovative, because too much of work will kill the innovation in the teacher. And culture, everybody, like if I talk about Bangalore is a cosmopolitan city. Like in my own department, we are 46 staff members, and in 46 staff member we represent somewhere 14 different states. So the culture is different, the way we talk is different, the way we dress up is different, the way we teach is different, the way we look at things is different. But cross-cultural training, how we give it in our corporate organization, it is very important to give it here also, right? So if we teacher are given little freedom of decision making, some kind of self-efficacy, some autonomy, definitely it is going to impact the teacher. It is going to make teacher more empowered. It is going to make a happy teacher for the future. Thank you so much, IDYM. That's all from my side.
Yes, what you said, I was just listening to you very carefully. Firstly, you talked about the human qualities. Yes, that is really very important because if and we teachers actually have a very important role to play in that. If we practice those human qualities, the students will learn from us. That is very important. And yes, recognition is important for the teachers. For empowering the teachers, that is actually very important because it is somewhere most of the schools and the colleges are failing in this. They are not actually recognizing the teachers for their achievements. Even though it is a small achievement, if somewhere they are recognized that, okay, you have published a research paper, so it is very good. So congratulations, ma'am, for this. So if something, some sort of such activities are done, the teachers will be motivated to work better. That is important. And the thing that I liked somewhere is, yes, we should be having some kind of decision making powers, we can say. We are able to make decisions that we should be getting because we are regarding how to conduct the classes, where to conduct the classes, what kind of teaching methods we can be using, some extra activities that we want to implement. That should be there because really we have a lot of pressure because coverage of syllabus everywhere we are being taught. How much syllabus we have covered? 10%, 20%, 40%. So everywhere we have to report on the number of classes and the number of syllabus. And at the same time, they expect us to fulfill the curriculum gaps that have been arising. And we don't get actually time for that. So there should be there. And of course, we try to update ourselves, but we should be having time to update the students as well. So it was very good listening to you, ma'am. And with this, I call from the second speaker, Dr. Emmanuel, sir. So please start with the session.
Uh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Here again today we have met. Now we are talking about empowering teachers today. Thank you, my fellow speaker. She has talked much about this and I've liked it. Teachers, sometimes we get tired. Sometimes because of the workload that we have, we need encouragement. Sometimes when we are working, we need empowerment. Sometimes we also need motivation. So these are some of the things that when we are working as teachers, sometimes we may be discouraged because of what we are encountering when we are working, or something that we are facing in our work or in our office, or something that we are facing with our children, some of the that we are facing. All these things at some point may discourage us. Sometimes we are tired because we have got children who are just making a lot of noise in the class. So we need to keep them calm. So all these things are some of the challenges that we face in the class. And sometimes there are other children that when you are teaching, they don't get you well. So you need to bring in some other skills so that that particular student should catch up with you on the lesson that you are teaching. So all these are some of the workloads that we may meet that we may face when we are teaching. So on the other side, then we feel good when some other people encourage us, or some other people motivate us, or some other people empower us. So that's why today we are talking about empowering teachers, because we are a group of people who work very much every day with our children. And sometimes if we compare ourselves with other office workers, but the teachers, they work day and night, because when you are at home, you have to prepare for your schemes, you have to prepare for your lesson plans, you have to prepare all those things. So when you are at home, you are still working. When you are at school, you are still working. So all these things are some of the things that we we are facing while we are working. So if parents, if other people, if other stakeholders are working together with us in a form of encouraging us or empowering us in some other fields, then we feel good. Because if parents come together and empower us in several worlds, in different worlds, so that we can improve our working our skills, then this is very good for us. Because if we are working alone as teachers, then we are not going to meet the goal. We are not going to achieve the goal. We are not going to accomplish the vision. But if we are working together as a community, because all the children are coming from the community, so if the community come together and then we are working together with our teachers, I think it will be very simple for our teachers to work with the children, because they feel good. They feel like, okay, all the community are with us. We are working together. When the children are at home, the parents are still teaching the children about what they have learned at school. So that's a way of empowering the teachers, because the work that the teachers are doing, the community is doing the same work. The parents are doing the same work. The stakeholders are doing the same work. Even the government itself, because most of the teachers are working under the government and others are working from the private schools. But if those people who employ the teachers to work are motivating them, that is one way of empowering the teachers. Because if a teacher is motivated, if a teacher is working in a peaceful situation, if a teacher is having peace in mind while the teacher is working, then this is encouraging the teacher to work more better in class or even outside the class. And this will help the teacher to bring in some other skills of teaching, so that the learners are able to learn some other skills by maybe bringing in some games, by coming out of the class or going out of the class and then learning through the nature and all those things. This may happen because the teacher is empowered. So the teachers are one of the people who need more empowerment. Because if a teacher look at civil society are working together with the teachers, they are empowering the teachers. If the government is working together with the teachers, that is empowering the teachers. The teachers are getting good salaries in their working areas. It's one of the empowerment. If the teachers are living in good houses, it's one of the empowerment, because they are feeling good. They are teaching, and then when they are teaching, they are coming from a very good house, and they're getting what they want from the house. They are eating better. They are having the health. They are paying their children. They are doing everything in a good way. So it's one way of empowering the teacher. The teacher is teaching with peace. The teacher is having everything that he needs in life. So as he is working, he's not stressing. Why? Because he has got everything that he needs as a teacher. So in delivering where the teacher is coming from. If the environment is suitable for the teacher, then we should expect the teacher to be a good teacher in class. And also the teacher may bring in some other new skills of teaching, so that his or her students will be able to learn and catch up with the teacher. But if the environment itself is not suitable for the teacher, then the teacher will not deliver. The teacher is not going to deliver. Why? Because while the teacher is in class, is now thinking what is happening at his or her house. If he is not eating the food at home, then he has to class on empty stomach. We cannot expect that teacher to teach in class something that students will get. No. Why? Because the teacher is not comfortable. The teacher himself is comfortable. We need to make the teacher in class. He's going to deliver. She's going to deliver because he's comfortable. So empowering teachers is one of the great roles that when we're talking about the coders, we're talking about the parents, we are also talking about the students themselves, we're talking about the community, we are talking about the community leaders, we are talking about the government, talking about all who take part in education. So these are some of the things that we expect from the surrounding, from the environment that may help the teacher to work well in his field. Now, we've seen that recently, some of the things that are happening in other countries, more especially if you look into African countries, most of the teachers are underpaid, so they are not getting what is expected to get. So if this is what happens, the delivery service in the class will not be all that good. We cannot expect a very quality service in the class. We cannot expect a quality service in the class. Why? Because the teacher is underpaid. He's not able to buy all the basic needs for himself or for herself. So if the teacher is not able to feed even safely, so that means the teacher is in stress. So all of the teacher is in class, but is thinking about what is happening at home, then so what we are doing today is that in every way possible, in whatever we are doing, in the community or in the society, we should see the person who is playing a great role in the society by teaching our children, because our children depend on teachers to end from therefore where they are on the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, up to the top. So all these things to happen, starting from standard 1 up to standard 8 or up to secondary school, depend on the teacher to take our children up. Sometimes we send our children to school, so they don't know even to write, they don't even speak other languages. So, but they go to school, they learn from there, they learn how to write, they learn how to solve some maths, they learn a lot of things. But gradually, little by little, sorry, our children the 0 up to the top. So all this to happen will depend on the teacher. The teacher is the one who is taking the children from 0 up to the top. So they are playing a very great role. They need empowerment. They need our support. We need to support them in every way possible. They should feel as they are. They should have some things that they need in life. So these things that we are talking about, that they are a part of the empowerment, because we are empowering them to work hard, interact with teaching skills which they know, so that children can learn new things, so that our children can easily capture some new lessons. So we are saying that a teacher is a person that needs the full support from the community, from the community itself, from the stakeholders, from the documents, from all people who play a role in a. So by doing that, then the teachers feel comfortable. Teachers will the teachers creative, will be resourceful, because they are comfortable. Someone who is not comfortable cannot do better. Someone who is not cannot work better, and not to bring in some other creative skills that can help them, because he cannot concentrate. The teacher cannot concentrate because he's not in class as he is teaching or as he's teaching in the class, but she's thinking of other things outside. So that makes the teacher not to concentrate on that the teacher is delivering. So that's why we say that the children themselves, the students themselves, should also support the teacher, should empower the teacher by listening, by doing what the teacher is telling them, by working together with the teacher, by skills class. So if as students, if I'm in front of the students, if I'm in front of questions, this helps me to know that the students are listening. If the students are asking questions, it's power of empowering the teacher to say that, okay, I think I'm together with the students. If the students are giving comments, so that's one way of empowering the teacher, that, okay, I think all the students are with me. But if the students are if the students are giving listening, so the teacher will be discouraged because class is not with him or with her. So The students them should also play a role by listening, by asking questions, by giving comments, by being very attentive in class. So this will and ask, okay, I'd like to know how my class. If there's parents, if the parents come and how's my child doing in class, they feel good because you know that the parent has got interest in child, the parents got interest in the question of his or her child. This helps the student, the teacher himself to be empowered to say, okay, I are interested with their children. I have worked very hard and I do a very good service because the parents themselves, when the children go back to school, parents go through the exercise books, the that students have done at school, and then this helps the parents to know what the students are learning at school. And once they come to, they appreciate, okay, thank you because of the work that you are doing. I can see that my child is improving now. These are some of the things that we feel good when parents are like this because it's a part of empowering us. So we have to work together. Working together is part of empowering each other. Working together is part of motivating others.
Emmanuel, sir, are you there? I think Emmanuel sir has lost connection, but he was actually trying to speak with very, like, in fact, listening to him is always very inspiring because he comes up with very good points and he just speaks from the heart. And every time, well, we can just wait for a few minutes for him to join. But like he was speaking about that we need to work together. He was speaking about interaction with the parents because that has to be done for motivating the teachers or empowering the teachers also, because it is not required only at the school level, even at the college level. Actually, that has to be done. So because when the parents come to the educational institution, they have a look at whatever is happening and whatever is going on in the school. Actually, that benefits a lot. So that has to be done. And yes, when we are teachers, okay, upgrading ourselves is one point, but somewhere the how we when we want to motivate the students, somewhere we should be self-motivated, and only then I think we can be going to motivate others and all. But I think again, Emmanuel sir is not well. He was really covering a very good point. Okay, Prachi ma'am. By the way, by the time Emmanuel sir joins, can I just ask a small question to you? To
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Yeah. Ma'am, you were talking about patriotism. So can you just elaborate more on it? What
Ma'am, see,
patriotism
sometimes,
actually is?
sometimes what happens, thank you for asking this question, but sometimes what happens, we tend to compare, right? Like simple thing I'm telling, like, sometimes we compare the economy, sometimes we compare the earnings, like, the life standards, or sometimes we talk about, the facilities given. So we tend to, like, see, when we are doing it, I'm definitely telling that, it is important for students to understand, but not on the cost of putting our own country down, right? Sometimes I've seen, somebody who is working as a teacher, like, especially in higher education sector, it happens that, they have worked in an industry earlier and then they come into teaching, right? So there could be a possibility when they were working in industry, they have exposure to work in foreign country as well. Now, in that case, you cannot keep telling this is not right here, that is not right here, because if we are living here, we are tend to accept it. And if we are not ready to accept it, then I think we should go back there. Right. So we create a lot of negativity around living in the country. We create a lot of negativity around being here. And I think, see, our future generation are the one who are responsible for bringing this country to the next level. So I think that attachment is more important, where we keep telling them, we keep persuading them, like in India, you would have heard about it, like keep talking about a self-reliant nation, right? And there are a lot of things, like make in India, or startup, lot of things which government is doing, to promote it. So I think, if we talk to students in those terms, that by utilizing all this, you can make this nation in a better version, right? Or like we have done till here you are the one who are going to take it. So some kind of patriotism through our teaching, through our talk, I think we need to inculcate amongst them. So it's very important, because I told whatever I spoke, it's all about my personal experience, like what my observation has been in past so many years of teaching. So that was one of the point I felt. So
Thank you, ma'am. And
stopping brain drain is very important.
yeah, ma'am. And that is very important. And like our topic today was is empowering teachers, and we had one more term,
Democracy.
democracy. Where if we want that the students should be living in harmony, they should be developing life skills, emotional intelligence. So sometimes we really have a very important role to play. Like along with the normal classroom teaching, the kind of activities like uh, when uh, when they go for, suppose they go for an industrial visit, so just tell them that okay, these are your groups, and you have to submit a report on it. There is a seminar, there is a webinar, you have to attend it, and this is you have to form a group, you have to submit the report. So sometimes the small activities that we are actually taking for them, they those activities inspire them, and they come in groups, because even in they are in the class for some 4 months, 5 months, they don't know each other's names sometimes. If you just ask, okay, do you know this boy? Then they will like, ma'am, I don't remember. So the activities that we keep on doing, some or whatever we do, it should be such that they communicate at least among themselves, and that is more required, because nowadays again it is the digital age where the children are so much busy with their digital devices, and where they need to actually interact with each other. So we should and all this can be done only when we are self motivated, only when we try to empower them. And we should actually keep on telling them about the different other different kinds of courses, the different types of entrance exams, different kinds of activities that are taking place, like the intercollegiate events and all. So sometimes these are all some small opportunities for them. We tell them like, okay, it is a very small function in your college. Just to go and take part in it and try to organize that. Even you are going to learn a lot of things. Even it is like a small thing like buying some flowers for that event. For that also, even that buying flowers can teach you a lot of things. So sometimes we need to like keep on encouraging them. Yes, I think Dr. Emmanuel is
Mom, I would like to speak something here.
yeah,
See, from a very large joint family, we have come down to small joint family.
yeah,
Then we came back to nuclear family. Now the family scenario is parents are working. If it is a single child, the child is all the time with the phone or with the gadget, right? So it is very important for us to develop that human connection in them, because the gadget can teach you a lot of things, but gadget cannot teach you human connection. So sometimes it is very, very important for us to do that. And very, very important for us, not only through these, as ma'am, sometimes through our teaching, like simple thing, the moral of whatever we teach can be something which develop their skill, can be something which, help us them to become a better human. Like all the time, we don't have to teach a subject technically. So maybe some story, some pun, some example we can give which touches their life as well, not only the brain. So I think that is also very important for us now.
Yes, ma'am. Human qualities are again very important because somewhere like when we are talking about the mental health, the emotional intelligence and all, that is again a great reason because now we are not anymore living in joint families. And even
Yeah.
the kids that we have earlier, we had some two siblings, three siblings and all, but now somewhere most of the families they will be having only one. So they don't have anyone to actually communicate with. So there is the problem that so that we need to develop more of human qualities. Otherwise, those qualities when we actually had elders at our home. So this was not a problem earlier, but now it has become a problem for the year. So,
Yes.
ma'am, I think here we will have to conclude our session because the third speaker,
Yes.
because Emmanuel sir, I think he has network issues, so he hasn't joined. So thank you very much, the speakers, Dr. Prachi Beriwala ma'am and Dr. Emmanuel sir, for sharing your valuable knowledge on this session on our topic, empowering teachers in democracy. It was a pleasure listening to you, and I learned a lot from it. And thank you, IDYM team. And thank you, Ravi sir and Zinat ma'am, for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much. Good night, ma'am. Good night, everyone.
Thank you from my end also. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.